not fully baked, but quite pretty baked people who are going to come into our system, and I think welcome you back. I think all from UK, I understand, all from UK. Anybody who is not from UK? All from UK, okay, good. And then we have our real established ranks here. I see my colleagues. I saw a pediatric ophthalmologist. I saw a head honcho from renal medicine. I saw internist. I saw family physician. I saw anesthesiology. So I think we have assembled quite a lot of people to make you understand our system. And along the way, we sell Goyo to say, join SingHealth. That's our ultimate mission. But I think bring you here, I think probably adds better value than bring you to another venue where it's not our hometown. And this essentially is our hometown, and I think you will see, if you glance around and you see the campus, and I want to remind you that not only this campus, we have other campuses along. So my job is to sell all this, alright, okay? I think this is the 8th year running that we are doing this. I think we not only do to our UK students that can join the system, but also from other countries. And you will be aware that actually Australia, New Zealand do provide a fair amount of students that can man our pipeline. So I think our urge is that all you come back, part of you join SingHealth. We are important cluster. Secondly, they are interesting and maybe challenging times, but you see all of us still smiling despite the challenges. You know that Singapore, actually population is big. You know, at our last count, last year our population about 5.5 million. So healthcare becomes a very important ingredient in how actually we look after the population. Right? To give you a sense of perspective, in acute care setting, hospitals, intermediate long-term care sector, the public sector provides about 80% of all the care. You know, so the 6 clusters, you know, the SingHealth cluster, NHG, NUHS, Eastern Health, the Jurong Health, and the group Alexandra Health, the 6 cluster will provide about 80% of all the acute care sector work. So which means that actually we need the largest concentration of specialists, of doctors in the system to man the public healthcare system. And amongst the whole lot, we are the biggest. So I think it's in our vested interest that we bring more and more people to come and help us run the system, you know. And my job is to paint the story now and the coming years about the assets that we have. All right, okay, all right. I think we are the largest, and we just actually every year we meet with MOH to look at our report card. You know, they look at us, how much patient we see, what's the waiting time, how big is our faculty, what's our patient load that we do, how much residents that we train, and we are the biggest. So we are unapologetic to say that we are the biggest, and each time we will show our figures, we will actually look after about one of the 6 clusters. SingHealth will look after about 40% of all the total public sector load. The other 5 clusters will look after 60%. The other 5 clusters will look after 60% of the public sector load. So in a sense, we are very big. So if you look at this campus, you know, SGH would have our sister centers here. I originally come from like SNAC just across the road. If you look at the building that is behind, you know, nowhere else in the island you'll find a national eye center of this size. And these are opportunities. And we have about a 2,000 bed hospital or SGH that house all the inpatient facilities in this campus. And not forgetting that we actually have a women and children hospital called KK Women and Children Hospital that has about 800 beds. And we have 9 polyclinics. I saw Sally around. Away, nearer. I saw Sally around. And we have 9 polyclinics and create a lot of opportunities for our polyclinics to train. And in fact, this year Nurses Day, we took a bus and travel and visit all our polyclinics to wish our nurses Happy Nurses Day. So we have phenomenal assets, and I think we want very dedicated, very passionate healthcare workers to join our ranks. And what's our quick program? We want to train you to the best of our ability. We want you to be the best in your field, in whatever specialty we want. And I think we are quite big. You know, we have 42 clinical specialties. 42 clinical specialties. Nowhere else in the island you will find something like that. If you want to be a burn specialist, there's only one place in the island. You know, you want to do hematology, there's one place in the island that you can do it very well. You want to do orthopedics, we just look at orthopedic numbers. We do 60% of all the total needs in the island. You know, you want to do internal medicine, we have the biggest internal medicine discipline. All right. Okay, so I think that's what I want to talk about. Secondly, I think we actually are partnered with a medical school called Duke, and we have actually had great collaboration with Duke in terms of education, in terms of research. So we have a great ability for us to fulfill your roles, whether you want to be a clinician, whether you want to be a clinician educator, whether you want to be a researcher, all the possibilities are there. In fact, if you want to be a clinician administrator, there are possibilities there. So we have 4 clinical tracks, 4 career tracks for people. You know that you are a medical student, your first job is to get your MBBS or your entrance degree. Then after that, you think about your future training. You know, our ability to do that is. And I think after that, my colleagues will talk about 35 residency programs, right? 36 residency programs. All right, okay. So what else we're going to talk about? I think we also are very more and more integrated with our medical school Duke. You know, so it's our hope that ultimately everybody who is a faculty here also would enjoy academic affiliation with our medical school. You know, so if you are AC, what do you see you to be? We see you to be an assistant professor. You know, if you are C or SC, we see you that you have possibility to become an associate professor or a full professor in one of the ranks. You know, so I think not only if you want to do clinical work, the work is there, but you want to do academic work, you want to do research, you want to be an educator, it's there, and we have all the academic affiliations with our Duke partners in there. Okay. Next thing I want to talk about is actually the coming of all the facilities. I think right now we are in a facility that's about 1 year old. This building, academia, takes probably about 4 or 5 years to build. For you, give you a sense of the building here. It was purpose built for a few purposes. Alright, it was purpose built. The first few floors are for education. So if you have a chance, actually we can show you all our education facilities, dry lab, wet lab, simulation lab, all the education facilities are here. All our various institutions also have dedicated education facilities. So I saw Sally again, I thought I should mention. We went to Geylang, Polyclinic Primary Care. Beautiful facilities to do residency training for family medicine, purpose dedicated, built for it. So more and more we have facilities to train people to the hilt. And so I think we are overwhelming proposition for you to consider once you finish and graduate. Alright? Okay. What else will happen in the pipeline? This building is about 1 year old, so it has education, it has research facilities. You'll find that there are 2 towers. One tower is mainly for pathology, service needs, the labs and all that. Another tower is actually for research. And we are watching go up there. All the research labs are here. Alright. Next coming up, that we actually have built and then operationalized and will be open officially by PM, Mr. Lee Hsien Loong, PM, next month, and that's our National Heart Center. So if you look over the other side, there's a brand new building, there's I think 13 stories tall, and that's a National Heart Center, and that has been operational. Coming up will be more buildings, so we are going forward to build the new National Cancer Center that will come up in about 4 years. We are building a SGH or Outram Community Center that will be about 600 beds. And this campus is on the start of rebuilding the hospital. So what we'll see in the new SGH, we'll shape the SGH towards the MRT station. I don't know whether you are familiar. Right at Outram and Yutongsin, there's going to be 2 MRT stations. They're building the 3rd one for the Thomson line. So 3 MRT stations. We are going to shift the entire hospital to an MRT station in the next 10 to 20 years. So the first building coming up, or that's come up, is the Heart Center, operational for a couple of months. In about 3 to 4 years, we'll build the NCC, the National Cancer Center, at the community hospital. And then the other buildings of the hospital come out in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. The entire campus will move towards the MRT station. Not only that, in the northeast, we are planning it, and now actually we have done the foundation. It's the Sengkang General Hospital. SingHealth cluster has been tasked to man the Sengkang General Hospital. And I think some of you, when you join, you can join the larger family of SingHealth, and you can be trained, and some you can actually be underemployed by actually the parent organization and provide service either in this campus, in KK, or in SingHealth. So I think SingHealth Hospital, they'll come up in 2018, will actually have 1,400 beds with a community hospital. So I think these are some of the resources that are available, and I think we are much more organized now to be able to provide the necessary training, the necessary career trajectory for you, whatever you want, whether you want to be a clinician practitioner, whether you want to be a clinician educator, whether you want to be a researcher, or whether you want to be an administrator. Along the way, I think my colleagues under DIO, Professor Lim Muding and all his colleagues will take care of you to do all the necessary training for you, whether in whatever career, whether it's specialty that you want to do. Okay, my last bit. I think tonight's program, we will have other people talking about it, and we are all going to be around, and I think we are quite happy to answer your questions about what the future can be for you if you come back and join us in the healthcare system. I think on that note, I'll hand it back to the MC. Thank you very much.